And you talk about and write about these information disruptions that break up whatever patterns or flows were there before, reform them, and then lead to kind of intensified competition as some power vacuum occurs. So if you think about comparing our contemporary world, the fracture and the intensity of competition that you just described, is there another time and place in particular that most reminds you of what we're experiencing today?
I've been thinking a lot about Charles I in the sense that
historic English king.
Well, yes. So historic English king who was not necessarily, he wasn't meant to be king. He only became that because his elder brother died. But he was a deeply thin-skinned person. And when he comes to power, he gets upset with Parliament because they're not doing what he wants and it's not easy for him. So he enters into this period of personal rule where he prorogues Parliament for a long time. And also what he did was that he really cut himself off from the people. Like no monarch is really tied to the people. But in that system, there was an aristocracy that would go back to the estates, and there would be a feedback loop between the estates through the nobility to the king that then would function as this feedback loop. But he cut it off in favor of court favorites, and he sent all of the aristocracy back to their estates and told them they couldn't come to London.
A lot of parallels. Thin-skinned personalist ruler, check. Trying to go around the legislature, check. And you're building toward a story here that I think has something to do with information and technology and efforts to control it.
So what happened with Charles was that he is, coming at a period of time where you've got growing printing presses. Like it's still quite a long time after the innovation, but it took a while to come to England and develop, in part because of control over who could have a printing press, but also because developing paper was very expensive. And it was very slow to develop as a domestic resource in England. So that also helped slow it down. So Charles really tried to control that, as many leaders did before that. And what he really wanted to do was control messaging. He was very fearful of a particular group, the godly, who were pushing for a more extreme version of Protestantism than he wanted.
Okay.
It's playing out in the pamphlets. So these pamphlets are a new form of communication, which are like short printed publications. And they're dueling here. And Charles is really trying to control that as well.